Day of practice, we're excited. Auburn Baseball, the 2023 edition, getting kicked off. So hopefully you can tell in my first sentence or two how excited we are to get going. And 24 new players, that makes it exciting. Preseason, nobody knowing what to expect out of us. I've seen us rank between 17 and 300. But it's kind of fair. The head coach didn't even know what all we have and how things are going to line up. I guess one opening comment I would make is, felt like with last year's team, we got to about week 6 or 7 of SEC play when I was meeting in this room with the team, and I said, this is the most important week of the season. The difference between last year and this year is I feel like that's in the preseason that starts today. These 3 weeks are the most important 3 weeks of our season. Our success will be in our preparation. There's a lineup to be made out with some new pieces, although we have some great returning pieces. I don't think it'll be as conventional and as traditional of a lineup. I think it'll look a little different. It's kind of hard to say, but I'll give you an example of something that may or may not happen. We did a little bit in our fall competition, those games, like a Bobby Pierce leading off, and we got an Ike Irish that we think's a very talented freshman, and a Nate LaRue that we think has grown with experience from one year to the next, of coming into his own, becoming the first catcher last year to now being an incumbent and trying to figure out, how do I grow with the bat? Putting all these pieces in a lineup. Sonny's gone, the co-SEC Player of the Year is gone. So, Cooper McMurray, Kirby, the left fielder, it's probably going to take more than one person to replace Sonny, and I would throw Rambush in there. Those were 2 special pieces for us. But we do have a lot back, and Kason Howell was the alpha male of this ball club. But circling back, these 3 weeks, lining up our pitching is probably even more complicated than our lineup. You lose. Not many teams in college baseball lost 3 pitchers in the top 5 rounds, much less 5 pitchers in the top 12 rounds. So I don't think we lack talent from the awesome guys that left, but we absolutely lack experience of, I've done this before. Some features about this staff I like as much or more than any staff I've ever had. I've been using the analogy of a peacock spreading its feathers, and we got a Tanner Bauman, who you just met with, that's a lower slot, low 90s lefty, is special. We have more left-handers to get us all the way to every slot. And then we have the full range of right-handers all the way down to Armstrong, who's a lower slot righty. So in some capacity, we have more pieces. But when you start talking about proven pieces, you can go Joseph Gonzalez and a little Sheehan, a little Isbell, both coming off injuries that pitched a little bit late, and the list is short. But we got a lot to work with. And instead of waiting and getting to the season, because when we start this season, we will absolutely jump in the fire. I think a lot of people think this Indiana team that we open up with is going to be a big mover in the Big Ten. That's an amazing opponent to open up with. Will match us athletically from game 1. That's good for 24 new players. You can either see it positive, negative, and I'm like, this will get us going quickly to know where we're at and where we go. And then you travel cross country for week 2. This is going to be great for our ball club. No matter where we're at or how those first 2 weekends go, what we do with all these pieces that are new, this ball club has a chance to get better and better and better as the season goes on, month by month, as the calendar turns over. So that's positive. But pitch and rolls, Joseph's the only one that you kind of say, hey, I'm going to do everything in my power as a coach to leave Joseph out there for 6 or 7 innings. He's earned that. He's demonstrated that. He's shown that. The rest of these guys, if Chase Isbell there, we're moving from a one inning reliever basically to a starter. He's going to have somebody like Bauman sitting right there behind him, or Sheehan sitting right there behind him in a piggyback. So this is more of a baton pitching staff until we figure out, the coaches make the lineup out in the preseason. When games start, the players make the lineup out. And we got to work to that end. But a lot of the moving pieces, more pieces, I think there's more pieces of depth. And that's our challenge. So I think the next 3 weeks, we need to treat like it's game on, like it's the most important games of our season. Today is huge. Our preparation is going to have a lot to determine with how we play here. So these 3 weeks, and I'm not ready to think about the season yet, and that's what I'll share with the team before we hit the field today. We are in our biggest preparation time. These 3 weeks are the most important to our season, and then we'll be ready to go.
Questions for Coach?
But you mentioned kind of the preseason rankings being all over the place. Do you have a preference on? I mean, when do you prefer having your team kind of having higher expectations nationally going in, or do you kind of prefer the underdog, or what's your preference on that?
Yeah, I'm usually I'll take whatever's given and we'll play that to the way we need to. A lot of people have put a lot of work into our program, so the preseason rankings are they have no meaning. I think this is another example of how they just don't have meaning. But everybody's getting interested. We're a month away, so everybody's getting excited for college baseball. And so I see it serving the purpose, but nobody knows. And in all honesty, I don't know what we have. I mean, we're sitting here coming off of 21 after barely making the SEC tournament, losing 9 one-run SEC games. And I'm like, I love the 21 team. I love the 21 team. And sitting here last year, I'm like, I don't know. Is Sonny any good? Is he going to hit 270 here as well? I don't know. He's hitting 390. Brown Bush, little junior college guy, and the whole world nobody knew him. We wanted him. We liked his grit and the way he played, but we didn't know he was getting. Brody Moore played the best shortstop in my career in the SEC over 2 decades to make 4 errors and not one via throwing on the entire year. And just guy after guy after guy has an amazing year. So I'll put it all into preparation. That's as coach speak as you can get it. I won't say at some point in this season that I don't use certain things people say for motivation, but not a preseason ranking, because it's not sized up. I'm actually a voter on the USA Today poll, and it's like I'm doing this to pick. I get it.
Yeah.
And so if you say anything, all right, well, you're human. Don't be a coach for a second. I think our program has done a lot recently maybe to get the benefit of the doubt, but it means nothing. And if somebody thinks less of us and that gets my attention and Gabe Gross and Carl Nunemaker and Darren Schoenrock's more attention with these guys to be hungry in their preparation, then maybe I would rather use it that way. So I'm not going to act like we're preseason top 25, which we are, and I'm not going to act like we're the 50th team like some people believe. Really what I care is what these guys in this locker room think. And I think we believe in our program, we're committed to our program, I love our culture, and we got to just sharpen our axe here for 3 weeks and go play. Because we don't need to be playing like we're thinking about that either. We just need to be collectively, how good can we get? We're not even close. I just want us to be ready in 3 weeks to play solid ball. No way, shape, form, or fashion will we be at our best when we start. And we're going to have to be pretty good because we're playing good people. But the preseason stuff, that's kind of the thoughts that are running through my head.
Talk about 24 new players. What different are you guys doing this early spring to try to get them ready compared to a typical year where you have more returning talent and less of a need for these freshmen and these newcomers to hit the ground running? Is there anything different you're doing?
No, it's a great question. What I would say is we shifted last year because we had a lot of new players last year. Yeah. And so the goal last year was to play as much baseball as we can, meaning the game. As many squad games as we can. I have 11 squad games planned right now, according to the January, February weather, to allow us to do it. We think since they haven't, we need to play. So play games, and then the coaching influence of making them play the game a little faster. Practice should be quicker than the game, and that's the only way they're going to settle, because we practice at a rate slower than the game. I think we got a chance for new people to be sped up more in the first game, so we're going to try to push a little tempo. We started doing some of that last year and playing a lot of ball. It's actually a continuation because we probably had 20 new players last year as well. I think that's what you're seeing in college baseball a little bit. So everybody loves the older pieces, but you're having 20 new players each year, and I think it's going to take one more cycle or one more year to maybe to reset and get back to the way it was. But we've had this same feeling this time last year with a lot of new pieces.